Welcome back. We're joined now by Susan Harris, a local Melville author. Thank you for joining us, Susan.
Thank you so much for having me, Julie.
Oh, no problem at all.
Exciting to be here.
I know you're excited to be here to talk about your latest book, Little Cup of Pennies.
Little Cup of Pennies, celebrating the life of the Canadian 1 cent piece, which runs from 1858 through 2013.
Okay, so this is your second novel, right?
This is my second book, that's correct. My first one, Golden Apples and Silver Setting, was written last year. And I really enjoyed writing. I really enjoyed putting words on paper. I really enjoyed the comments that people were finding this so very helpful and meaningful, inspirational.
Right.
And if I can devote my life to writing, I'd be happy.
Okay, so what kind of inspired you to write a book about pennies?
I'm constantly creating stories. I was a school teacher, so I'd often use lots of concrete examples to bring across lesson applications to students. So it became very much a habit and a routine to make up a story about everything and anything, whether it was a mundane plastic bag or a penny.
Right.
And so when I heard the news on the end of March that the penny was going to be eliminated in fall, immediately I thought, this penny has traveled oceans, it has traveled on aircrafts, it has been held by kings and queens, it has been held by peasants and persons like myself. It has just been in many different places. And what a story this penny would have if it could speak. And I sat at my supper table with my family and I started to make up stories for them of what the penny had seen and heard, and their eyes were just Googling, and they said, you should put this in a book. And 7 weeks after, I had a manuscript.
No way. So it just kind of came together on all your little stories.
It did. I started expanding it, of course. I started to research the history of the penny, and research has always been something I've been drawn to. And history has always been something I've been drawn to. And as an immigrant turned citizen to Canada, history and roots have become very important. Remembering what used to be, remembering my own experiences. And so it just seemed a very natural fit. And then there were all of these lovely people around me who had stories of pennies back from the 1920s, back from the 1800s, when their foreparents came and lived in caves carved out at the side of a hill.
Right.
Because of the cold winters, they couldn't build houses yet. And they recognized the value of a penny, which was so very scarce, and what it would buy. A dozen eggs for 10 cents. That's less than 1 penny for an egg. Julie, last Saturday I bought a dozen eggs for $4.99. That's
a bit more.
That's over 40 cents now for an egg. So it was really very interesting to compare and contrast and to remember and to just see the value, the worth, and the sentiments attached to the penny. And now it for sure has become a nuisance. Its main economic reason for being is to create a profit.
Right.
And it's now costing 1.06 cents to make a penny, which is only worth 1.0 cents. So really economically it's not feasible.
Right. We're losing money.
We are.
Making pennies.
Yes, actually $11 million was used in 2011 last year to generate pennies.
Wow.
So the government is indeed having a considerable saving, and you know, the recycling aspect and the handling and processing, even stores and workers at the till, the time it takes to roll pennies, standing in line, waiting.
Exactly.
A person wants to really rush off and get on with their day, and there is someone counting pennies, you know, just wondering, do I have the correct change here?
So is your opinion in the book? Do you have your own, what is the end of your story, kind of, not to give the book away, but what's the point of writing this book? What does it really tell people about the penny?
It goes into the very beginnings of the penny in terms of its history in 1858 when it was created for the decimal system. The US was using the decimal system. Great Britain was using the pound imperial system with pound sterling. And so the penny was created to introduce change. However, I have given the penny the name of copper in the book and have created stories where copper actually expresses an opinion, a sort of a personification.
Right.
And I have used characters to tell the stories.
And you made a children's book out of this too.
Yes, a picture book for children, and that will be coming out in early December.
Right, and you talked to me earlier about the reactions you've been getting from libraries and from schools and things like that, and they wanted you to expand on your book.
Yes, actually, one of my school librarian friends, when I told her of my idea, I showed her my manuscript, she said, I want to put a bug in your ear. Have you considered a picture book? Because for the lower elementary level, because my book is readable from grade 5 and higher. It's a general reader, it's for adults, and it's got a section in each chapter that's called penny facts, and it's very much factual, correct information. And there's a section called penny fun, and again, it was gathered from a lot of games and uses, funny uses for the penny, and helpful uses as well. So I ran with her idea, and I actually, a notable artist in Regina, his name is Mark Sexton. His business is Mass Design, M-A-S. He is the illustrator of my little copper pennies for kids.
Right, so you're keeping it local and everything in Saskatchewan.
We want to keep it local because it is very much a Canadian history, and it's really fun. So I really want people to remember the penny and the sentiments, the values attached to it. And it's done very creatively through the use of character.
And you were telling me earlier as well that you went to Winnipeg to, I guess, see the last few pennies being made.
Yes, the last penny was actually minted, you're correct, in Winnipeg on May the 4th of this year. I wasn't present at that visit. I went over the summer to just look at the process of production. They do give tours. It's very educational. It is just so fascinating to look at how the machines turn, the people work, and just all the history that's explained to you in terms of production processes, metals, compositions, and it's something I would certainly encourage everyone to do.
And really quick, where can people look for your book, and when is it coming out to the public?
Well, it is due to be released in print at the end of September, and it is currently available on Amazon.com as an ebook. It is going to be available on Kobo as an ebook as well. You can get it from Friesen Press, from Amazon.ca.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much. Make sure you watch the stores for little copper pennies to come out. Thank you very much, Susan.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.